When it comes to love, no show does heartbreak quite like 90 Day Fiancé. Over the years, we've seen couples survive the impossible, but we've also watched some of the most shocking, messy, and unforgettable breakups reality TV has ever given us. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most shocking breakups in the 90 Day Fiancé universe. Get ready because this list is wild. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have Steven and Olga, and honestly, this one still breaks my heart. These two were just kids when they met during Steven's trip to Russia. And what started as a vacation romance quickly became a life-changing situation when Olga became pregnant. At first, fans were rooting for them. Here were two young people trying to figure out parenthood and international love. It felt genuine. But as the season progressed, Steven's immaturity and controlling tendencies became impossible to ignore. The way he acted in that hospital after their son was born? Absolutely unacceptable. What made their breakup so shocking wasn't just the split itself. It was watching two people who clearly cared about each other get torn apart by circumstances they weren't mature enough to handle. Steven's jealousy, his inability to understand Olga's needs as a new mother.
You missed me all the time. Once you saw me getting off the train, you were so excited, just like Ocean City was. But then everything changed. Now, I don't know why. What happened?
How do you suppose, like, after operation, I have to be like a super happy
I'm not asking you to be
person,
super happy.
And the constant pressure of the K-1 visa process created a perfect storm. When they finally called it quits, it wasn't with dramatic screaming matches like other couples on our list. It was quiet, sad, and showed the harsh reality of what happens when young love meets real-world pressure. Sometimes the most shocking breakups are the ones that feel inevitable. 1. Colt and Larissa. At number 9, we have the relationship that redefined toxic Colt and Larissa. If you thought you knew what drama looked like before these two, you were wrong. From the moment Larissa stepped off that plane in Las Vegas, this relationship was a ticking time bomb.
I don't like the house because it's small.
Larissa came to America with big expectations: flowers, romance, a fairy tale life. Instead, she got Colt's tiny apartment, his overbearing mother Debbie, and a relationship that felt more like a psychological experiment than a romance. But here's what made this breakup truly shocking: the sheer number of police calls. We're talking multiple domestic disturbance calls, arrests, and court appearances. This wasn't just reality TV drama, this was real life spiraling completely out of control. The most jaw-dropping moment? When Larissa was arrested not once, not twice, but 3 separate times during their relationship. Fans watched in real time as this couple's private drama became public record. The screaming matches we saw on TV were just the tip of the iceberg. When they finally split for good, with Larissa's dramatic exit and accusations flying from both sides, it felt like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You knew it was coming, but the actual crash was still absolutely shocking. This breakup didn't just end a relationship, it changed how we thought about reality TV boundaries. Number 8 takes us to one of the most frustrating love stories in franchise history: Nicole and Azan. This is the breakup that had fans screaming at their TVs for literal years because we could all see what Nicole refused to acknowledge. From the beginning, the red flags were everywhere. Azan's discomfort with Nicole's public affection, the cultural clashes, his family's obvious disapproval, but Nicole was living in her own romantic fantasy. She was so convinced this was her fairy tale ending that she ignored every single warning sign. Then came the infamous beauty store investment. Nicole sent Azan thousands of dollars for a business that, well, let's just say no one ever saw a store. The canceled weddings, the constant excuses, the obvious reluctance from Azan's side, it was painful to watch. What made this breakup so shocking wasn't the split itself, it was how long it took. Fans spent years watching Nicole pour her heart, soul, and bank account into a relationship that everyone could see was one-sided. The cognitive dissonance was incredible. When it finally ended, no marriage, no store, no fairy tale, it was like watching someone wake up from a years-long dream. Nicole had invested so much emotionally and financially that the reality hit like a truck. Sometimes the most shocking breakups are the ones that should have happened years earlier. 1. Danielle Mohamed. At lucky number 7, we have the breakup that literally wrote the book on 90 Day Fiancé drama, Danielle and Mohamed. This is OG franchise chaos, and it set the standard for every messy breakup that came after. Mohamed was brutally honest in a way that was hard to watch. He straight up told cameras he wasn't physically attracted to Danielle, that their intimacy issues were deal breakers, and that he felt trapped in the marriage. It was uncomfortable television, but it was also unflinchingly real. But Danielle wasn't going down without a fight. The accusations flew: green card fraud, lies about his past, financial manipulation. What started as a marriage quickly became a legal battlefield, with both sides making serious allegations. Then came the moment that shocked the entire reality TV world: Danielle literally hunting Mohamed down after he left her. We watched her drive hours to confront him, showing up unannounced with cameras in tow. The secondhand embarrassment was overwhelming. The courtroom scenes, the annulment drama, the public airing of incredibly private issues. This breakup was a masterclass in how not to handle a split. But it gave us some of the most quotable, meme-worthy moments in franchise history. Even years later, fans still reference this breakup. It was messy, it was uncomfortable, but it was absolutely unforgettable reality television. Halfway through our countdown at number 6, we have the relationship that turned emotional manipulation into an art form. Darcy and Jesse. Darcy Silva is a 90-day legend, and her toxic relationship with Jesse gave us some of the most cringe-worthy moments in franchise history. Jesse positioned himself as this sophisticated European intellectual, constantly criticizing Darcy's choices, her parenting, her appearance, even the way she cut her food. The condescension was off the charts, but Darcy was so desperate for love that she tolerated treatment no one should accept. Then came the moment, the steak-cutting meltdown that became legendary. Jesse's dramatic storming out over how Darcy cut her meat was so ridiculous it should have been comedy, but watching someone's self-esteem get destroyed in real time wasn't funny at all.
Yeah.
So if you cut it like on the bias, it stays juicy.
Honey.
I'm just helping you. We're doing this together, right? So if you cut it on a bias that is slant, it saves the juice. I've worked in restaurants, so okay.
I'm done.
I know how my kids like it, so.
What made their breakup truly shocking was the aftermath. The social media battles, the he said, she said interviews, the way they continued tearing each other down publicly for months. This wasn't just a relationship ending, it was a complete demolition. The shoe-throwing scene alone spawned thousands of memes, but behind the internet jokes was a genuinely disturbing relationship dynamic. When they finally called it quits, fans felt relief more than shock, but the way it all played out was absolutely unforgettable. At number 5, we have the breakup that no one saw coming. This relationship had more plot twists than a soap opera, and just when you thought you understood what was happening, everything got flipped upside down. Jeffrey went to Russia ready to propose, and fans were expecting either a fairy tale acceptance or a gentle letdown. Instead, Varya shocked everyone, including Jeffrey, by turning him down. Not because she didn't love him, but because she needed more time. The raw emotion in that scene was incredibly powerful. But here's where it gets crazy. Jeffrey came back to Tennessee heartbroken and started dating Mary, his ex-girlfriend. It seemed like a rebound situation, a way to heal from the rejection. Fans thought that was the end of the Jeffrey and Varya story. Then Varya showed up unannounced at Jeffrey's house with cameras rolling, ready to say yes to his proposal. The look on Mary's face when she answered that door? Priceless. The look on Jeffrey's face? Pure panic. This was reality TV gold. What followed was one of the most awkward love triangles ever filmed. Jeffrey had to choose between the woman he proposed to and the woman who was actually there for him. The emotional whiplash was incredible. The shocking breakup wasn't just about the relationship drama. Jeffrey's controversial past added another layer that left fans questioning everything they thought they knew about this story. At number 4, we have the most on-again, off-again relationship in franchise history: Angela and Michael. These two have broken up and gotten back together so many times that keeping track requires a spreadsheet, but their explosive splits never get less shocking. Angela and Michael's relationship is built on a foundation of mutual distrust and explosive arguments. The phone-smashing incident alone should have been the end, but somehow they kept finding their way back to each other. The cycle of betrayal, forgiveness, and revenge became their entire relationship dynamic. The cheating rumors, the social media investigations, the constant accusations. This couple turned relationship insecurity into a full-time job. Angela would find something suspicious on Michael's phone, explode, threaten to leave, then somehow they'd work it out, only to repeat the cycle weeks later. Angela's dramatic "I'm done" declarations became a running joke among fans because we all knew she'd be back. but each breakup felt genuine in the moment. The tears, the anger, the hurt were all real, even if the resolution was temporary. Their most recent split felt different, though. The betrayals had accumulated, the trust was completely gone, and even Angela's famous forgiveness seemed to have limits. When she finally said it was over this time, fans weren't sure if it was another temporary break or the real deal. What makes Angela and Michael's breakup so shocking isn't any single incident. It's the sheer intensity they bring to every fight, and the fact that we're never sure if this time it's really over. The bronze medal for most shocking breakup goes to Big Ed and Rose, and honestly, this one was as satisfying as it was surprising. Ed's relationship with Rose started as a typical age gap international romance, but it quickly became something much darker. From the moment Ed arrived in the Philippines, he was criticizing everything about Rose. Her breath, her legs, her lifestyle, her family's home, nothing was good enough for him. The disrespect was constant and increasingly difficult to watch. Rose tried to be patient. She accommodated his demands, endured his complaints, and even defended him to her family when they raised concerns. But you could see her self-respect slowly returning as she realized how poorly she was being treated. The final straw came when Ed revealed he didn't want more children, something he'd hidden from Rose, who desperately wanted to be a mother. Combined with his demand that she get STD tested while refusing to do the same, Rose finally hit her limit. When Rose finally stood up for herself and walked away, fans literally cheered. Her dignified exit speech about deserving respect was one of the most empowering moments in franchise history. Ed's shocked Pikachu face was just the cherry on top. What made this breakup so shocking wasn't that it happened, it was that it took so long. Rose's transformation from someone accepting mistreatment to someone demanding respect was beautiful to witness, and her final exit was absolutely iconic. The silver medal goes to Kalani and Asuelu, a breakup that broke hearts because we genuinely rooted for these two. They started as a sweet cross-cultural love story that many fans believed in, which made their spectacular crash all the more devastating. Kalani was mature, responsible, and trying to build a stable family life. Asuelu was well, he had the emotional maturity of someone much younger. The parenting disagreements, financial irresponsibility, and his inability to prioritize his wife and children over his extended family created constant tension. But fans were still shocked when Kalani revealed that Asuelu had been cheating. This wasn't just relationship immaturity anymore, this was betrayal of the worst kind. The way Kalani handled the revelation, with such dignity while clearly falling apart inside, was heartbreaking to watch. Asuelu's response to being caught was somehow worse than the cheating itself. The weak excuses, the lack of genuine remorse, the way he seemed more upset about being caught than about hurting his family, it was infuriating. What made this breakup particularly shocking was how it affected their children. These weren't just two adults ending a relationship, this was a family being torn apart, and watching those kids caught in the middle was devastating. When Kalani finally said enough was enough, fans supported her completely, but it was still shocking to see such a fundamental betrayal in a relationship we'd all invested in emotionally. This couple literally built an empire on their relationship drama. They got their own spin-off show, became franchise royalty, and seemed to prove that love could conquer anything. That's what made their split so absolutely devastating. Pedro and Chantel survived years of family warfare. His family thought she was controlling, her family thought he was using her, but through it all, they seemed to genuinely love each other. They weathered storms that would have destroyed most couples, but somewhere along the way, the constant fighting took its toll. Pedro's career ambitions, Chantel's suspicions about his motives, the never-ending family drama, it slowly poisoned what had once been genuine love. You could see them growing apart, but fans kept hoping they'd find their way back. When the divorce papers were filed, fans were genuinely shocked. This was the 90-day fiancé couple. They were supposed to be the success story, the proof that international love could work despite all obstacles. The aftermath was brutal. Property disputes, bitter arguments, public accusations, watching their love story turn into a legal nightmare was heartbreaking. These were people we'd watched fall in love, and now they couldn't even be in the same room without lawyers. What made this the most shocking breakup wasn't just that it happened, it was what it represented. If Pedro and Chantel couldn't make it work, what hope was there for any of these international couples? Their split didn't just end a marriage, it shattered the fairy tale ending that fans desperately wanted to believe in. And there you have it, reality TV fanatics, the 10 most shocking breakups in 90-Day Fiancé history. From explosive fights to heartbreaking betrayals, from legal battles to social media wars, these splits gave us some of the most unforgettable moments in television history. Some were satisfying, some were devastating, and some were just plain messy, but all of them reminded us why we can't look away from this franchise. Love is complicated, international love is even more complicated, and add reality TV cameras to the mix? Well, you get the chaos we just counted down. Which breakup shocked you the most? Did we miss any that should have made the list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love debating these rankings with you all. If you enjoyed this deep dive into 90-Day Fiancé drama, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more reality TV breakdowns, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. We've got more countdown lists, cast updates, and behind-the-scenes drama coming your way. Until next time, remember, in the world of 90-Day Fiancé, expect the unexpected, prepare for the dramatic, and never underestimate how messy love can get when there are cameras involved. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.